You're watching BionicDance. Don't run on automatic, instead, please think.
Yeah, I was just thinking today about a challenge that I kind of want atheists' opinions on.
Very well then, challenge accepted. Let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers, BionicDance here. Meet YouTuber XChampX, who, as he alluded to in the intro, has a question or two for atheists.
I was thinking about the concept of heaven and hell and God's statutes and what they're going to be like. I was just wondering what you guys your guys' opinion on this. Hypothetically speaking, that for your guys' sake, that heaven and hell are real.
All right. I'll grant for the purposes of this video that God and heaven and hell are real. It will save me having to say every couple of sentences, assuming God is real, to prove I don't buy the concept. You're right, it'll be easier, and that shit'll get old really fast.
If you died and went before God, and He allowed you into heaven with the free pass, would you want to go?
Well, that's actually a difficult question, because while hell is reputed to be eternal torment, heaven is described as eternal paradise, and yet, as it's described, it sounds like a kind of torture in and of itself.
When heaven is revealed in the Old and New Testament, in Isaiah and Revelation, it talks about how when we see God, we're going to bow down to Him.
You see what I mean? At first glance, heaven does seem better than hell. At least you're not burning in a lake of fire, right? But if you dig a little bit deeper beyond the superficial, you'll see that heaven is actually a kind of psychological torture. If I'm forced to do things I don't want to do, that I actually have an objection to, well, in what way is that a paradise?
So pretty much meaning that everyone's going to be worshiping Him.
It's never been adequately explained to my satisfaction why an all-loving, all-powerful God needs to be worshipped so very badly. It sounds to me like the dude's got a bigger ego on him than Justin freaking Bieber.
My question is, or thought, is what you value today, you're not going to be able to do in heaven. So, since you're not going to be able to do the things that you really, or a lot of the things, the sins or whatever, that you're not going to be able to do those in heaven, and you're going to have to worship God for eternity. Are you going to be able to deal with that forever?
I can only see 3 possibilities for how that's going to work. Number 1, I will be threatened with hell if I don't conform, which sounds kind of tyrannical to me. Besides, couldn't I just do all those sinful things and then ask God's forgiveness?
When I was a little boy, I used to pray every night for a new bicycle. Then I realized the Lord, in His wisdom, doesn't work that way. So I just stole one and asked Him to forgive me.
Possibility number 2. I'm made to worship through some sort of divine mind control, whether I like it or not, which, again, sounds rather like psychological torture. Or, number 3, I'm made to like it, whether I want to or not, which, again, psychological torture, because if I'm still me, some part of me will be pounding my fists against the glass cage I've been put into. None of those sound like paradise. None of those sound like heaven.
I'm just thinking about what your guys' opinion would be, and this would be if there was a free pass allowed in. Would you consider that heaven or hell?
Heaven or hell? That's kind of a tough choice because, as I say, they both sound like torment to me. Okay, heaven might be a little bit better because at least I'm not burning in a lake of fire for eternity. But honestly, I don't want to do either one. I'm going to live forever or die trying. I'll bet my life on it. But if I have to die, I'd prefer the eternal dirt nap. If the essential me just die, dead and gone, full stop, forever. Or heck, resurrection sounds better than the description of heaven and hell. But why should we believe the description of hell? I mean, this God character wants me to go to heaven, wants me to worship him. So wouldn't he say that hell is this horrible, horrible thing? And as I understand it, Satan, the devil, whatever you want to call him, apparently rebelled against God, betrayed him. And now he is doing God's bidding by tormenting the people who turned against God? How does that make sense? I mean, you'd think if you were one hell of a sinner up here on earth, if you turned against this God guy, Satan would be like, dude, you rock. You know how to party down. Let's do it. You'd think. So, false advertising on God's part. You don't want to go to hell? Of course you don't. So, honestly, tough choice. Much like with my atheism, I need more information before I decide that any of this is real. But even granting that it is real, well, I need more information to make my choice. I really do. So I realize I haven't actually answered your question, but I hope I've given you a little more insight into my mindset on it, if nothing else. Until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please think.